Well, how'd you sleep last night?
Well, actually, I slept okay, and it was probably just because I do have a couple of these titles, but the way I look at the whole year and this series itself, I've just never been down the wire like this, for me as a racer. So it was new in that aspect, but the racing the whole year was super enjoyable for me. For one, because I was able to win races and win motos, but two, just having that competition there, and it was just outstanding year for us.
So I'm sure growing up watching racing, you watch Carmichael and James Stewart have those kind of motos you and Chase did this year, where you guys would start a moto together and literally run the entire time. I know you've had some great competition during your career, some great battles, but it's a little extra satisfying to kind of emulate that, because I'm sure as a kid, to just be able to duke it out and it be clean and so gnarly between you two. It's got to be pretty fun.
It was like every weekend, one guy would be a little bit better, whether it was the surface of the track or just the track itself. And then we're back and forth. And then especially the last 4 rounds, talk about barn burner for both of us. So we were on glue, we were glued together, and we just kept pushing each other. The level got higher, and it's like we didn't even have time to have any drama moments, right? We're going faster and faster and faster and doing that together.
So I'm sure from the outside looking in, people would probably think, oh, it'd be great to come into a final round with a bit more of a cushion. You can just, cruise in on a third or a fourth. But I think we hear a lot of riders say it. It's actually more, I feel like more stuff can go wrong if you're being conservative. If you stay in the moment, you perform as you do. Did you feel that today with only the 1 point going into and the fact you had to perform?
I did, and it, in my opinion, it was better than having 6 or 10 points, because with 1 point you have to go out and execute, period. And there's no rolling around. There's no gift to this situation, and that's the way it was. So I slept fine, wasn't rolling around in bed too much, and I just knew how to go do my thing. And thankfully for me, it worked out the way I hoped it would.
So that first moto when Chase was ahead of you, you could have, just sat on his tail, maybe just waited for a mistake. If it didn't happen, whatever, you had another moto, but you executed. When you crossed the finish line that first moto, you still had one more moto to go, but did it hit you like, yes, I've checked off the first part of this?
Absolutely, because to be honest, I felt like the past couple weeks he was a little bit stronger in Moto 2, the last 3 or 4 laps, and I was a little bit, that was on my mind. I'm like, I really need to beat this guy in Moto 1, and I was able to do that, and I knew it was a huge thing. So that was a little bit of weight off my shoulders. But then going with Moto 2 itself, didn't have the greatest start, got a little bit shuffled back. Jason was in the front, and he's one of the guys I get a little bit nervous about, if he's up front, he could run away, right? So, and then Chase was in front of me, obviously got around him when he made his mistake, but there was no laying down. But yeah, Moto 1 helped this scenario a little bit.
So coming into this, so far you've battled with championships with guys I would say you've raced more years against or have been around. Is it pretty unique or satisfying to be towards the end of your career, exiting possibly outdoors, and basically you didn't get taken down by the new guy per se? You left on top. Did that sink in at all going into this week in that situation against Chase, or did it feel like any other competition?
I've been thinking about that situation. He is the next guy, in my opinion, and we've been so far ahead of the rest of the guys in a lot of these races, right? So, and he's at a young age, and he's solid. So, I did not want to, knowing that he is the next up and coming generation. Exactly right. I did not want to fall to that generation. So, this is a big deal to get this done.
It's funny because I asked Chase a couple weeks ago. I said, hey, you two are so far ahead this year. Even if it doesn't work out, I'm like, worst case scenario, it doesn't work out. It's got to feel good knowing next year you got, kind of can have these guys' numbers. And he was just like, no, I don't want him to go on top. I don't want that hanging over my head. But it is for him, sadly.
Like I said, what is he, only 23? He's got a lot of years in front of him. So, and it was impressive what he was able to do. Like, his technique is impressive, his speed was impressive, and his endurance, both motos. So, like I said earlier, nothing but respect.
So last one, this might take a little bit more reflection, but if I had to put you on the spot, you switched teams this year. Some people probably from the outside thought it was a gamble. You took home 2 championships. You, again, rode with a up-and-coming rider who could potentially be the next biggest guy. If I had asked you, where does this rate as of the performances of Eli Tomac? Like, do you feel like this year, is this the best version of you we've seen? Or
Yeah, it was. It is. It is.